Largest Powerball jackpot in Kentucky history, a whopping $167.3 million.
It's 26th April, 2025, and the headlines in Kentucky are all talking about the local man James Farthing, a 51-year-old who has hit Kentucky's largest Powerball jackpot of $167.3 million. And 2 days later, he was seen holding an oversized check alongside his mother, Linda Grizzle, and his girlfriend. But fast forward 11 months later, a mugshot shows Farthing behind bars for the third time since his win, now jailed for allegedly burglarizing a home and stealing $12,000 in cash. But how does a man with a $167 million winning ticket end up allegedly kicking in a stranger's door for $12,000? Is it bad luck or a math problem nobody warned him about? Welcome to the Strategic Blueprint, and in this video, we explain the hidden truth about Powerball's mega jackpot, which most people don't understand. Now, before we go into his personal habits and history, let's take a look at the numbers behind the jackpot prize and do some mathematics. The jackpot isn't what you see. The first hidden truth is that the $167.3 million figure is essentially a marketing ghost. Because the truth is that the actual amount that hit James Farthing's bank account is far less than the $167 million he won. What you have to understand here is that when you hit a jackpot, you have to go to the lottery office with your winning ticket as a proof. When you reach there and get verified, the lottery officials pull you into a private room. They ask you the one question that changes everything. Do you want the annuity or the cash? To James, the answer seems obvious. He wants it all. He wants it now. So he chooses the cash option. He walks out, smiles for the cameras with his mother by his side, and holds a check that says $167 million. But here is the hidden truth. James never actually got all that money. 11 months later, a mugshot of James Farthing is trending. He isn't on a yacht, he's in a jail cell, arrested for the third time since his big win, this time for allegedly kicking in a door to steal $12,000, according to CBS News. Let's be honest here, how do you go from a $167 million jackpot to a burglary charge in under a year? It starts with the math that nobody tells you about. Firstly, the jackpot is a ghost. When James chose cash, he fell into the first trap. See, that $167 million figure? It's a marketing ghost. It doesn't exist in a vault. The lottery only had $77.3 million in actual cash for this prize, according to USA Today. So to reach $167 million, they had to invest that money into government bonds for 30 years. By demanding the money at that moment, James immediately lost $90 million of his jackpot. Just imagine someone asks you, do you prefer cash payment or annuity? You obviously say cash and boom, $90 million erased, but the government wasn't done yet. Next came the tax shredder. The IRS took a 37% bite for federal taxes, and Kentucky State took another 4% in state tax. When the smoke cleared, James Farthing's $167 million win hit his bank account as roughly $45.6 million. But what if James took the opposite and chose annuity over cash option? How does the annuity plan work in the lottery? Think of the annuity like a 30-year contract. If James had chosen this path, the lottery would have taken that $77 million and bought U.S. Treasury bonds. These are the safest investments on earth, backed by the U.S. government. Over 30 years, those bonds grow with interest until they finally hit that big $167 million number. So by choosing cash, James essentially told the lottery, I don't want the interest, I want the money today. But what if James had a different plan? What if he took his $45.6 million take-home pay and put it all into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, like Vanguard's VOO? This is the dream the finance gurus sell. Historically, the S&P 500 returns about 10% per year on average. If James had the discipline to leave that money untouched, the math is staggering. In 10 years, his $45 million would have ballooned to $118 million, and in 20 years, it would hit $300 million. In 30 years, by the time his annuity would have ended, he'd have nearly $800 million, according to our Fidelity calculator. He could have turned a small $45 million payout into nearly $1 billion empire just by clicking a button and waiting. Even if he didn't want to wait 30 years, he could have lived off the dividends. Vanguard's VOO pays out roughly 1.3% in dividends every year. On a $45 million investment, that is a salary of $585,000 a year without ever touching his original millions. But here is the hidden truth about the stock market. It's a roller coaster. In a bad year like 2008 or 2020, the market can drop 20% or even 30%. If James saw his $45 million drop to $35 million in a single month, would he have the iron will to stay invested? Remember that money doesn't change who you are. It just gives you a faster car to get where you're going. For James Farthing, that was a black Porsche Panamera. Despite having $45 million in the bank, James didn't leave his past behind. In just 11 months, he was arrested 3 separate times. The first strike happened just 4 days after winning. He was jailed in Florida for allegedly punching a hotel guest and kicking a deputy. A few months later, he faced charges for intimidating a participant in a legal process. The final blow, in March 2026, police say he kicked in a door in Lexington to steal $12,000 in cash. Think about that irony. He had enough money to buy that house 100 times over, yet he allegedly risked his freedom for a fraction of what he already owned. Thanks for watching. Until this way, see you in another video.